Good evening, SnapshotTV headquarters. I'm not gonna be around the bush, so I'm just gonna tell you about what your damn mission is, and you better just do it when I tell you. So, a nearby terrorist organization nearby the headquarters has been found and has created multiple weapons of mass destruction, multiple missile launchers that have been created to destroy a nearby satellite station that is very crucial in the carrying out of our missions. Your mission? Stop them by any means necessary. Goodbye and good luck. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it is an early morning here in SnapshotTV Military Headquarters. It's 5 a.m. or 500, whatever you want to call them. That's our missile places where we keep missiles. That's our satellite station that we need to keep safe. So I don't know if you've seen any of this technology before. I think it's rather new to all of you, so I think I'm just gonna tell you all about it and describe it. So pretty much scientists have found out charcoal and iron make steel dust, which makes steel ingots. We found copper underground. We also found tin as well as sulfur. So we find out how to use that in a little bit. So tin and copper make bronze, and for layer things, fermented spider eye, and raw flesh makes poison powder. With the bronze dust, you make bronze ingots. With black ball and copper, you can make copper wire, which we found out is a nice way to use electricity. We made motors. We came up with a way to create coal generators, which is the way we make our energy. We got batteries to store the energy, and battery boxes to store even more energy than a battery. So the way coal generators work, you put coal in them, and you connect them to a battery box, and it creates energy for you to use. That's pretty much how it works. Just connect it with the copper wire, and you're good to go. We also came up with a wrench, because maybe you'll place it down wrong. You can use that to change the position of anything you want. So that's good. So the scientists have created technology in the form of tiers, from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3. Tier 1 being very basic, so that's a basic circuit for tier 1 electronics. That's an advanced circuit for tier 2 electronics, and that is how you make an elite circuit for tier 3 electronics. A tier 1 electronic is one of them is the electric furnace, which you make like that, and a radar gun, as you can see there. You can use the electric furnace to quickly cook my meal very easily, and with electricity instead of coal. Fantastic, right? Great, technologies coming out of our labs here in SnapshotTV headquarters. Also, with the battery box, you can use that to charge these electronics. Like right there, I'm charging the radar gun. Yay, radar gun! I can use that to figure out my coordinates to get ready for a, missile attack. See, I can transfer the coordinates to my my missile thing. I still haven't, figured out the exact name of things, because, this technology is all new to me. But with the advanced circuit, you can make a remote detonator, which you can use to detonate explosives. Pretty self-explanatory. You can charge that up just like you can with every other electronic you want. And that is an explosive diffuser, which diffuses explosives. Very high-tech stuff coming out of our places, and I am charging that. Charges very quickly when the battery box is full of energy. It's pretty easy to, think of that. So with an elite circuit, you make a laser designator, which you can use to call in an airstrike. And you can make a signal disruptor, which you can use to disrupt the signals of your enemies, such as the signals of proximity detectors, radar stations, so you can't be detected by them. We also find out how to make an EMP tower, which you can use to rid things, and we made a railgun, and that's how you make the bullets. That's how you make the railgun. Yeah. So, as I said, things work in tiers, so let's look at Tier 1 explosives. So, let's look at the condensed explosive first. It's pretty simple. It blows up very quickly. Make it with 3 TNT. You're good to go. Next Tier 1 explosive is going to be a shrapnel explosive, which, if you see here, detonate. I don't know why I went in there. It's kind of dangerous, but it blows up, and it does that. And it does damage to anything around it. Next Tier 1 explosive is the incendiary explosive, which we use the sulfur we found for. I don't know why I'm trying to go in there. Kind of foolish, but as you can see, it's essentially like napalm, and it destroys everything there. We also came up with chemical explosives with that chemical stuff, and with pumpkin, we found out how to make an antidote. So, if your enemies are using chemical explosives, you can heal yourself. Go in here, click the button, and I didn't really want to. Yeah, essentially it disorients you. It causes you to become poisoned. It gets rid of your health. So really, it's pretty devastating. But if you have the antidote, like I do, I'm starting to get really high off of this. But you get the antidote, you eat that, and you're good. Cool. Next bit of technology. With shrapnel explosive and incendiary explosive, you get fragmentation explosives, which press the button, and you will see what happens with this explosive. It blows up, and it's essentially the shrapnel explosive on crack. Pretty much those parts exploding. Rotten flesh, you can make a contagious explosive, which is like the chemical one, just contagious, and that is a sonic explosive, which you make with what you saw there. Sonic explosive essentially just creates a gigantic sound wave, throws everything up in the air, and it comes back down like that. So, gives you a nice little ride. It's kind of cool. But if you want to destroy someone's house, that's a good way to do it. And you can also break their eardrums, which is also very good to do in warfare. I don't know why, but make the enemy suffer as much as you can. It's always a good rule of thumb. I'm starting to get stuck in this thing. Whatever. Right here, we have the breaching explosive, which I'm going to kill a pig first, because I can. And essentially, it keeps all blocks that it destroys, and it blows up very quickly. And I breached into the room of an evil guy that is trying to hoard every single diamond in the world. Yay! So incendiary plus glass makes a conflagration explosive, and I'm gonna try to run away from this forest. You can see a beam of light going up to the sky, some blocks going up, and wait for it. It turns to night and everything starts burning in a gigantic blaze of fire with lava everywhere, and everything is dying and everything's burning, and I'm burning myself, and it's essentially hell on earth once you unleash this thing. So that's essentially what it looks like. There's lava, there's fire, it's essentially hell. Yay! Oh, by the way, rejuvenation explosive right there. I don't know what it does. It's not really much. This is an EMP explosive right here, which you saw the crafting recipe for there. But before we get into the explosive, I'll show you what the railgun does. You press a button, and it just shoots a bullet that breaks blocks. That's essentially what that does. So with the EMP explosive, it works as an EMP. Essentially, it disables any technologies that are around. Those ones were out of its range. As you can see, these ones are disabled, but those aren't, because it was out of the range. The radar disabled. That does not work. That works. But here's the EMP tower, which essentially does the same thing, except it also disables missiles. So with the EMP, everything's disabled. Nothing's working. Not even the EMP works. No, the missiles don't work, and the EMP itself is disabled. I don't see the functionality in that, but it works. Get some ice and snow, you get an endothermic explosive. So you ignite that, and you walk away. You wait a little bit, and then you see a blue light, just like the conflagration explosive. Just instead, it's blue this time, because it's gonna make everything cold. Get it? And the screen crops, and there's ice, and you're cold. Essentially, you have frostbite, you can't really move, but got an antidote, and you're all well and good. It leaves everything essentially frozen. So, that's great. Next, with condensed explosives, and TNT and nuclear something. I don't know, we got the nuclear something. Scientists use it all. We got a nuclear explosive. I found this and, oh shit. Well, I found a nuclear explosive. I'm gonna try to loot as much stuff as I can until it causes a lot of damage and leaves a lot of radiation left behind. Really just a devastating explosive. That is tier 3, and so is the anti-gravitational explosive, which you make with Eyes of Ender, and it does what you think it does. It defies gravity. Everything just floats up, and it doesn't stop floating up. And you float, everything floats. It's kind of fun to just float in there. Really, makes an island above you. It keeps going. It turned into daytime. The entire night passed, and it's still going. So, really, this just defies gravity, just as you thought it would. So, yay for that. Next, we go into tier 4. These are really, really devastating explosives. Let's start with the red matter. I found another temple. So I'm just gonna go down here, make sure everything's safe, and damn it. Well, essentially, the red matter explosive is a gigantic orb of red matter that continuously gets bigger, 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 bigger. As you can see right here, I'm sacrificing a bunch of villagers to show you what happens if you go near it without proper equipment. This is for science. This is not cruel. You instantly die once you go in there, by the way, so you're not going to want to go in there. And it also doesn't go away. It's just going to stay there. So, if you want permanent damage on your enemies, this is the way to go. This is what you want to be using, because this thing just kills. As you can see, it just keeps getting bigger. It's almost consumed the room from where it started down below, down the tunnel to get into the treasure room. You go upstairs, you see particles indicating that it is still getting bigger. It is still red matter, and yeah, oh, now it's going at the floor. Yep, it's taking the sand from the floor around the explosive. So it's pretty devastating. It gets bigger and bigger, bigger into a gigantic ball. It just consumes everything and kills everything in its path, and that's what it looks like. It's essentially just a never-ending explosive. This is the explosive that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some red matter created it, not knowing what it is, and it will keep on exploding just because. Yeah. Next, this is the antimatter explosive. Once you detonate this, you want to run. Just run. You want to run for your life, because you're probably gonna die if you don't run. So my advice is run, and then you just give it a little bit, and then kaboom. Things slow down. You hear a lot of noise, and then you just give it a little bit. It takes a little time for this to really do everything that it does. but once it's done, it is serious damage that's being done to the land. So, as you can see, it's just a gigantic hole. It's a gigantic cylinder. It destroys everything, really, all the way down to bedrock. So that's tier 4. We've gone through all 4 tiers of explosives. So let me show you how to make the missile launcher platforms. There's, again, works in tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Tier 1 being able to hold Tier 1 explosive missiles. Tier 2 being able to hold Tier 2, Tier 3 being able to hold Tier 3. Here's Tier 1 through Tier 4 launcher control patterns, each one being able to do different things. The first one being able to let you choose coordinates, and everyone has more range each one, and has more functionalities between each one. Some letting you determine a height to explode, and some letting you determine the coordinates by using a radar gun. And the support frames, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, increase the accuracy, Tier 3, making it right on the money. And cruise missiles, they're just cruise missiles. To make a missile, you just choose the explosive you're choosing with a missile module made like that, and you get the missile that corresponds. Also, there are grenades, shrapnel, chemical, and incendiary, and frag grenades made the way you see there. And that's about all the technology we have come up with. Okay. The time has come to execute the mission. The airstrike has been called in with my laser designator. The missile is coming from the headquarters to the area I specified, and those that are trying to mess with our satellite and our communications will know who's boss in a matter of minutes or a matter of seconds, because yep. As you can see, that was a nuclear bomb. Essentially, don't mess with us, because we'll nuke you and probably take your oil, because they had oil. We took that before we nuked them, just so you know. That's about it. Mission complete. I hope you enjoyed learning about the new technologies being thought of at SnapshotTV headquarters. Goodbye.